home to Tennessee. Last night I took out a bag of beef soup bones and thawed them in the refrigerator. And then early this morning I roasted the beef bones at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. And that will help the beef broth have a darker color and have a little bit better flavor. As for getting beef soup bones, you might want to check with your local butcher. At the grocery store, they may be able to help you, or you can find a local butcher that may be able to help you, and that's where I got these when I was picking up some grass-fed beef. They had some bones, and it was about $6 for this many bones. So you'll take your stock pot, the larger the better. This is actually on the small size. You might want a larger one if you have one. And you're simply going to put in your ingredients. So you're going to put in carrot tops. I don't like to use the whole carrot in the broth because I like to eat the carrot, so just take the tops off. I did cut up a whole onion, and then out of a chunk of celery, I took just the tops and just the bottom piece of the celery. So that you're going to add into your stock pot, and this will add some flavor to your broth. Make sure we get those in there. So you're starting out with your vegetables, and then I like to add a little bit of salt at first. You're going to add more salt as your broth develops. So we're going to start out with a half a tablespoon, see what happens with that. And then I like to add vinegar. If you don't have white vinegar on hand, you can also use apple cider vinegar or even lemon juice. The purpose of this is to break down the bones and the marrow and the cartilage of the bones in order to get those good nutrients out, like the calcium and whatnot. So this will help break down your bones a little bit. So you put a quarter cup of vinegar. And then I happen to have kombu available from a friend who bought it a lot online. Don't rush out and buy kombu, but seaweed does have good nutrients, so I'm gonna stick that in there. Then all you do is take your beautiful roasted beef bones and put those in your pot. So I'm gonna fill this up almost to the brim with water and get it to a boil. Then I'll turn it down and simmer it all day long. You wanna simmer it for 6 to 12 hours. And you may need to add a little bit more liquid if it gets down there, but you're basically going for as long as possible to help break down those bones and get the nutrients out. Once you have boiled your broth and let it cook all day long, you're definitely going to need a strainer because you don't want the vegetables that are cooked in here or anything in your broth. You are going to probably strain out your broth, and you can then put it in the refrigerator overnight and a layer of fat will form at the top. You can throw that away or keep it if you like, but that will separate the fat out of your beef stock. So let me show you how to store it in the end. You would want to put it in a jar or put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. And let me show you a finished bone broth. This is a beautiful jar of already made beef broth that has been put through the strainer, and there will still be little particles at the bottom, and don't be scared, those are nutrients. I'm not afraid of them, hopefully you won't be either. And this is your beef broth ready to use. You can either freeze it or use it, keep it in the refrigerator and then use it. I would say it would last just a couple days. So beef stock is great because it's all about nutrition. That's why we're doing this. We're using up bones that would have probably been thrown away and getting the nutritional value out of them. Thank you very much. And thank you to my cameraman, Cooper.